Hollywood thrives on scandals, but every once in a while a story breaks that doesn't just ripple through celebrity headlines, it crashes against the very foundations of fame, media, and reputation. That's exactly what's happening right now with Blake Lively's war against Justin Baldoni, and the shocking twist involving Perez Hilton. This isn't just a petty feud, it's a story about power, harassment, manipulation, and how the gossip industry itself may have been weaponized in one of the nastiest celebrity showdowns of the decade. It began in 2024, when anticipation was sky-high for It Ends With Us, a romantic drama adapted from Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. Blake Lively starred as Lily Bloom, with Justin Baldoni not only directing but also playing the male lead. On the surface, it was marketed as a passion project that would unite fans of the book with Hollywood glamour. But behind the cameras, things were unraveling. According to Lively, the set became toxic. In December 2024, she filed a formal complaint with California's Civil Rights Department, accusing Baldoni of creating a hostile work environment. She claimed he crossed professional boundaries during intimate scenes, touching her in ways that weren't scripted and improvising without consent. She also alleged that he made repeated lewd comments about his personal sex life. For Lively, it wasn't just unprofessional, it was harassment. For Baldoni, those allegations were career-threatening, and he didn't take them quietly. By January 2025, Baldoni fired back in the most dramatic way possible. He filed a $400 million defamation lawsuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist. He accused them of fabricating lies, leaking damaging stories to the press, and deliberately trying to sabotage his reputation. The staggering number wasn't only about damages, it was symbolic, designed to crush and intimidate. But that gamble collapsed. By June 2025, a United States judge dismissed Baldoni's lawsuit in its entirety. Lively's harassment claims were deemed protected, and Baldoni's own defamation case against the New York Times, which had reported on the feud, was also thrown out. On paper, Lively scored a major legal victory. But in Hollywood, a courtroom win doesn't automatically erase reputational scars. That's when the war of perception escalated. The spotlight turned to Perez Hilton, a man who has never shied away from controversy. For nearly 2 decades, Hilton built his career on brash gossip blogging, mocking nicknames, and a ruthless style of commentary that made him infamous. He'd already been sued, canceled, and dragged into countless debates about the ethics of gossip, but he always managed to bounce back. The posts included cruel nicknames, twisted her comments, and amplified narratives that painted her as manipulative, arrogant, or dishonest. The sheer volume was staggering. At times, Hilton published multiple posts per day, all zeroing in on the same themes. This wasn't random coverage, her lawyers argued. This was coordinated character assassination. Even more disturbing was the allegation of outside coordination. Lively's team suggested that Hilton may not have been acting alone. They pointed to a public relations consultant believed to have helped ghost produce anti-Lively content, or fed talking points to Hilton and other influencers. The claim was that Baldoni's camp, directly or indirectly, was weaponizing gossip blogs as part of a wider strategy to destroy Lively's credibility. Hilton, according to this narrative, was at the very center of the machine. That's when things escalated further. Lively subpoenaed Hilton, demanding access to his communications, correspondence, and records. She wanted to see if there was evidence linking him to Baldoni or the consultant. Her legal team argued that if Hilton was indeed publishing as part of a coordinated effort, his content wasn't just free speech, it was retaliation. The subpoena also required Hilton to cover the costs of the motion, which was, honestly, a sign that Lively wasn't simply trying to defend herself, she was going on offense. Hilton, as expected, denied everything. He insisted he had no ties and that his coverage came entirely from public information and his own commentary. To him, the subpoena wasn't justice. It was an attack on free speech. He portrayed himself as a journalist being silenced for doing his job, raising the specter of First Amendment protections. This clash raised a deeper question. Where does free speech end, And where does harassment or defamation begin? Celebrities have always been targets of criticism, mockery, and satire. But what happens when the criticism isn't just a few jokes or harsh reviews, but hundreds of coordinated posts that repeat the same smears over and over? Lively's lawyers argued that the volume and vitriol crossed a line. It wasn't journalism anymore, it was psychological warfare. In filings, she described panic attacks, anxiety, and strain on her family life. The attacks weren't just hurting her career, they were damaging her mental health. For Hilton, though, the stakes were just as high. If the court sided with Lively, it could fundamentally change the gossip industry. Suddenly, bloggers and influencers might be held accountable for being part of coordinated campaigns. The gossip economy, built on speed, speculation, and amplification, could face unprecedented legal scrutiny. What Lively was pushing for wasn't just about her case, it was about reshaping the boundaries of online celebrity coverage itself. That's when the broader ecosystem of influencers came under scrutiny, from high-profile commentators to smaller creators. The allegation was chilling, that Baldoni's allies may have cultivated a whisper campaign, planting narratives and letting them snowball across platforms. It wasn't one voice attacking Lively, it was an entire network, echoing the same talking points, designed to drown out her side of the story, and it worked. For months, Lively's name trended not for her acting but for mockery, memes, and insults. Even though Baldoni's lawsuit had collapsed, the damage to her image was already cemented in the public's imagination. Then came a surprising twist. In September 2025, Lively suddenly withdrew one of her subpoenas against Hilton. Analysts scrambled to understand why. Was it a strategic recalibration? Was her team consolidating focus for the trial ahead? The answer remains unclear, but the central accusations remain firmly in play. Analysts scrambled to understand why. Was it a strategic recalibration? Was her team consolidating focus for the trial ahead? The answer remains unclear, but the central accusations remain firmly in play. Hilton is still fighting to block discovery, while Lively continues to press her claims of harassment, with a trial looming in March 2026. This isn't just a celebrity squabble, it's a battle with implications for the future of reputation in the digital era. If Lively succeeds, it could create new pathways for celebrities to hold bloggers accountable for participating in smear campaigns. If Hilton emerges unscathed, it could embolden gossip culture, confirming that online campaigns of this scale are untouchable. Either way, the precedent will be historic. And here's the most haunting truth. Regardless of the eventual verdict, the damage has already been done. The posts exist, the memes, the nicknames, the hashtags, they've been seen, shared, and remembered by millions. Even if Lively wins in court, she cannot erase the online narrative that has already been etched into digital culture. She can clear her name legally, but the smear will live forever in internet archives and screenshots. That's the cruel reality of scandal in the social media age. As the March 2026 trial approaches, the stakes couldn't be higher. Witness testimony may expose PR manipulation, secret communications, and the dark underbelly of gossip blogging. The courtroom drama promises to be explosive. But the real outcome won't just shape Blake Lively's career. It could decide whether online gossip can continue to operate without accountability, or whether the era of unchecked smear campaigns is finally coming to an end. Perez Hilton now stands at the center of what may be the gossip industry's most important reckoning. Will he be remembered as a casualty of a new legal frontier, or as the blogger who once again proved that scandal always wins? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Hollywood will never look at gossip the same way again.